AI, the calm before the storm. I want to ask you something, and just answer it quietly in your own mind. Have you noticed how everything is getting faster, easier, almost effortless? Work that once took hours now takes minutes. Ideas appear on command. Words write themselves. And yet, something doesn't feel stable. It's a strange feeling. Like standing on solid ground, but sensing a shift beneath your feet. We've watched as millions of dollars are decided in minutes. And in the same moments, projects get funded while jobs quietly disappear. And every time, the pattern feels familiar. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just subtle. Like the ocean pulling back before anyone realizes what it means. So the real question is not if something is changing. It's this. Are you standing in the safe zone, or the one that only looks safe? The receding ocean. The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. Peter Drucker. There is a quiet moment before every collapse. It does not feel like danger. It feels like relief. I want to begin with a simple question, one you may not have asked yourself yet. What if the calm you feel right now is not safety, but delay? Imagine standing at the edge of the sea. The water pulls back, exposing the ocean floor. It feels strange, but also fascinating. You step forward. Others do too. Phones come out. Photos are taken. No one notices what the sensors already know. Far away, invisible, a force is building. This is how systems fail. Not loudly, but silently. And right now, in the digital world, something is pulling back. Billions are flowing into artificial intelligence. Jobs are quietly disappearing. Productivity is rising, but so is uncertainty. It feels like progress. But underneath, it is something more mechanical, more predictable. A pattern. And patterns, once seen, cannot be unseen. The mathematics of collapse. Prediction is very difficult, especially if it's about the future. Niels Bohr. Every technological wave follows a curve. Excitement rises faster than reality. Economists call this a bubble. Scientists might call it a system out of equilibrium. In simple terms, it means we are investing belief faster than we are generating value. Last year, hundreds of billions flowed into AI. At the same time, over 1 million jobs vanished. This is not coincidence. It is coupling. In physics, when two systems interact, energy transfers. Here, capital is flowing into machines, and human labor is being displaced. But the system has not stabilized yet. Prices of AI capabilities are dropping rapidly. What cost thousands now costs pennies. When something becomes cheap enough, it stops being a competitive advantage and becomes infrastructure. Like electricity, like the internet. And when that happens, entire industries reshuffle. Not slowly, but all at once. The illusion of intelligence. The real problem is not whether machines think, but whether men do. B.F. Skinner. We often confuse performance with understanding. AI writes, speaks, codes, summarizes. It feels intelligent, but what it is really doing is pattern completion. It predicts the next word, the next action, the next likely step. Like a mirror reflecting probability. Your brain does something similar, but with a difference. It carries emotion, memory, and meaning. AI does not feel what it produces. Yet, Psychologically, we respond to it as if it does. This creates a strange illusion. We begin to outsource thinking not because we must, but because we can. And slowly, without noticing, our cognitive muscles weaken. Not dramatically, just enough. The impact zone. What gets measured gets managed. Peter Drucker. There are two invisible zones forming. The first is the impact zone. It looks impressive. Polished demos, fast responses, beautiful interfaces. But beneath it, there is no traction, no users, no real-world friction. In science, we would call this a simulation without feedback, a closed system. It does not learn from reality. And anything that does not interact with reality eventually collapses under its own assumptions. If a product does not generate revenue, it is not a system. It is an experiment. If your work does not connect to real outcomes, it is not stability. It is exposure. The impact does not announce itself. It reveals itself. The signal of reality. In theory and practice are the same. In practice, they are not. Albert Einstein. Reality has a simple language: feedback. Revenue is feedback. User behavior is feedback. Failure is feedback. In neuroscience, learning happens when predictions fail. The brain updates itself through error signals. AI systems do the same, but only if they are connected to real data. A system that does not fail cannot improve. A person who does not face reality cannot adapt. So the question is not, is this impressive? The question is this being used? Because usage is truth. Perception Insight Quiz. After you listened, open the quiz tab. The questions reveal how you interpreted what you heard and invite you to have noticed the hidden logic in your reactions. Then, share your score in the comments. The rail of reality. What gets measured gets managed. Peter Drucker. There is a simple way to see the truth. I call it rail. Revenue, acceleration, in-market, learning. Revenue means real people paying, not potential, not future, now. Acceleration means speed. Can something real be delivered quickly? In-market means exposure. Is it used outside the lab? Learning means feedback. Are mistakes shaping the system? If two of these are missing, you are not building the future. You are rehearsing it. Velocity over perfection. What I cannot create, I do not understand. Richard Feynman. Speed has become a form of intelligence. The ability to build, release, observe, and adapt quickly is now more valuable than getting it perfect the first time. In biology, evolution does not aim for perfection. It aims for survival through iteration. Small changes, rapid cycles, continuous learning. AI development is beginning to mirror this. The systems that win are not the most polished. They are the most adaptive. And adaptation requires exposure to the real world, not isolation. The 3 layers of power. We are surrounded by data, but starved for wisdom. Yo Wilson. The AI world looks complex, but beneath it, there are only 3 layers. Infrastructure, models, applications. The first requires massive capital. The second is consolidating quickly. The third is where human creativity still matters most. This mirrors past technological shifts. In the early internet, those who built the cable struggled. Those who built experiences on top of them thrived. Because humans do not interact with infrastructure. They interact with meaning. And meaning lives at the surface. The automation threshold. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. Plutarch. Every job has two parts. The scripted and the unscripted. Scripted work is predictable, repeatable, structured. This is what AI replaces first. Unscripted work is ambiguous, creative, contextual. This is where humans remain. The danger is not that AI replaces everything. The danger is that we fail to see which parts are already replaceable and continue doing them out of habit. The cognitive trade-off. Thinking is hard work, which is why you don't see many people doing it. Henry Ford. When machines think for us, we save energy. But the brain is not designed for constant ease. It is designed for challenge. Cognitive effort builds clarity. Effortless consumption builds confusion. The more we rely on AI for execution, the more we must invest in reflection. Otherwise, we become efficient but directionless. The silent skill. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties. Epictetus. There is a skill that does not appear on resumes. The ability to sit in silence. To think, to connect ideas, to imagine possibilities. In neuroscience, this is called the default mode network. It activates when we are not actively consuming information. This is where creativity happens, where insight forms. But in a digital world filled with constant input, silence becomes rare. And without silence, there is no depth. The human edge. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. The future does not belong to those who know the most. It belongs to those who understand the most. Understanding requires context, judgment, experience. These are not easily automated. AI can generate answers, but it cannot decide which question matters. That is still human. The architecture of trust. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. Carl Jung. In a world where content is infinite, trust becomes scarce. And scarcity creates value. Relationships are not data exchanges. They are emotional systems, built slowly, reinforced over time. AI can simulate conversation, but it cannot replace presence. And presence is what people remember. The resilience pattern. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Viktor Frankl. Every collapse reveals the same pattern. Some break, some bend, some adapt. Resilience is not resistance. It is flexibility under pressure. In biology, the strongest systems are not rigid. They are responsive. They absorb shock. They adjust. They continue. And so must we. The ocean within. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi. We often mistake our roles for our identity. Our job, our title, our position. But these are forms. They change. What remains is deeper. Your ability to learn, to connect, to adapt. That is the substance. The wave rises, the wave falls, but the water remains. The quiet awareness. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. So here we are, standing at the edge of something we do not fully understand. The ocean has pulled back. The signals are there. But this is not a story about fear. It is a story about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, you begin to move differently. Not faster, but more consciously. Not reactively, but reflectively. And in a world driven by algorithms, that may be the most human advantage left. This is Decode Code, where we uncover the hidden patterns, unseen costs, and scientific forces shaping the mind in the digital age. The conversation doesn't end here. Visit the quiz tab and share your score in the comments. Thanks for your time. It's been a delight. What should we explore next? Comment, share, and save your insight. Subscribe to Orbital Sapiens and keep your thoughts bright.